What is going on, badasses around the globe? It is BADonny, and today I'm going to be bringing another top 5. Now, this one I've hinted for a while. It's finally here. I'm going to be covering top 5 best remastered maps in Call of Duty Black Ops 3. Now, I love all these maps. Don't get me wrong. They're all such great maps, nostalgia to go back to. But I'm going to be basing off the concept of how much they have improved. Not just over the idea of how much the graphics have improved. I'm covering all features like gobblegums, guns, perks, all this kind of stuff, and I'm going to be including that because there's just some maps like Origins which the only thing really that have improved about them is a little bit of difficulty and the graphics a little bit. Other than that, it's pretty much the same game, same map, and I just feel like that's one reason I feel like there's just some maps that just haven't improved as much as others. So, gameplay goes to both MC Sports Hawk and Noah. Go check them out. Links, as always, will be in the description. So, let's jump right into this. In 5, I have Verruki. Now, this one, it's awesome to see a lot of these guns and a lot of these aspects make a return. The graphics were phenomenal. But the one thing I feel like this map did so well was Easter eggs and guns. Because sure, you got the return of like the graphics are good, you got like the whole Easter eggs with the chairs and everything, but the guns and basically just those kind of things are just, it's amazing. Like guns like the M16, I'm not too quite sure if that one made it back, but I know the Mark II is in there. I do know the Wonderwolf is back, PPSH, and just a bunch of other nostalgic weapons have made a return. And to be honest with you, even though you open up that bunker in that one spawn area, you have the bootlegger. So at least there's a decent gun there that you're paying money. So I think it was more of a troll on Tricks that it's like, you guys are complaining about the bar too much, paying 2,500 points for it. Here, we're going to give you a bootlegger for 5,000. Yeah, I think I was kind of a troll in that part, but to be honest, I'd pay 5,000 for a bootlegger over 2,500 for a bar because the bar sucks ass. But the bootlegger is actually relatively decent. And if you get like, say for example, wall power on that thing and just all these different gobblegums, it's going to be really worth your money doing this. Like obviously you have the box, you have other wall guns, why choose the bootlegger? But in a way, like I feel like the bootlegger was such a better choice for a gun in that area than the bar was. So I'm glad the bar did not make a return. And simply just having all these new perks in there as well just made this map a lot more easier. Gobblegums especially. This is one topic that I'm going to be going for both Verruki and just a bunch of the harder maps. Gobblegums make such a big difference in this map. Because this map is so close quartered. Gobblegums like Perkaholic or like Swordflay. All these Gobblegums make such a huge difference to the way this map plays out. Sure, it's easier to get set up, but this map overall on its own is a very hard map, and that's something I feel like adding these things in make it a lot easier to get set up and a lot easier for the general player. Because this being a DLC 2 map after like Knocked, which obviously in this case that point doesn't matter. It was such a big change from Nocturne Tone, which was, it wasn't hard, but it wasn't easy. It was more or less just a challenge on seeing how much you could survive on the bare basics. But with with Verruki, with the introduction of the perks and just zombies and everything in the close quarters areas, this made Verruki a very much harder to adapt to than any of the other maps. So first players going and playing Verruki for the first time, having these gobblegums are really going to help them kind of like find a liking for this map. And for the rest of the Zombies franchise, for that matter. So anyways, Verruki comes into the number 5 spot. In the number 4 spot, I have to give it to Moon. Now Moon, I've always looked at as a map that just plain sucked. The thing just was really dim lit. It really just sucked. The colors sucked, graphics sucked, the Moon Man sucked. Everything sucked about this map. The only thing good about it was PhD and the frickin' Mustang and Sally's. Other than that, this map pretty much sucked ass. It was a cool idea, but it was like made wrong. But with the introduction to it to Black Ops 3, Jason Blundell did such a better job at portraying Moon as Jimmy Belinsky is. Even though Jimmy's my favorite map creator, he did such a good job at it because he made the PES system, I think it's called, it just looks so much better. Like with the old one, it just looked all like clunky and it just didn't go well. It blocked all the sounds, the visual wasn't as good. But this one, they made it feel like it was barely there. The colors were vibrant as hell, a lot more. Although, raises one question, if you guys go check out my previous podcast, is how does light travel in space, but I'm not going to go into that in there. And just simply the colors, like I'm saying, look so much better. You have the introduction to the wavegun, the QEDs, the Gersh devices, all those made a return. And I felt like that was so awesome. I feel like they made the Spaceman less OP, and I actually like the concept of Gobgums being added, obviously because it makes the Easter egg and everything easier, but the purpose of the idea of turning Juggernog and like all the perks off at the beginning made it so much more balanced, because like you can have Jug by round 1, like regardless you could still get it with Perkaholic, but if you usually could just, in the original Moon, you could get it by round 1, and that made things really easy. But with this introduction, I feel like it's a little bit more balanced in a way, and it's not so overpowered now, and I like that for that reason. And it provides more of a challenge, especially with the balancing of the Gobgums. And like you can get Perkaholic on round 1 and everything. So love the balancing of it. This map is just so vibrant, perfect now. Like honestly, it gave me such a different outlook on Moon than I did on the Origins. And honestly, I have to say, Moon isn't that bad of a map anymore. So anyways, Moon comes into the number 4 spot. Jumping into the number 3 spot. Now, this one, I have to say, I am very disappointed in the positioning of it, but there's so many better other maps I put into it, but I'm still glad it's on this list, because it is one of my favorite Zombies maps. It is the return of Keno der Toten. Now, this map was the first map that I played Zombies on, the first map that made me even interested or addicted to zombies, and just overall, it had such a good feel to it. And I'm glad that they brought this back in the Black Ops 3. This map, regardless of some of the small features being removed, this map still feels so nostalgic to go back and play. Like, obviously I haven't played it myself, but just looking all the gameplays through and everything, it looks amazing. I can't even comprehend, like, everything looks so much better than the original. Like, the teleporting pad, the, like, brightness of it. Everything just has been improved on so much. Which brings me to another point, and that is the guns. The guns weren't exactly the best in Black Ops 2, or in Black Ops 1. You had stuff like the PM63, the Spectre, all these guns, but now with the addition to Double Pack Punch and these new guns for Black Ops 3, it makes Keno such a lot more guns viable on Keno. Instead of having to rely upon the Thunder Gun, the Mustang and Sally's, the Ray Gun, you can choose any of these guns now. And I feel like that's such a big improvement compared to Keno. Like, yeah, it was a challenge, but having these guns, like more variety in guns that you can use, makes the Keno such a better map, because you can always have a different game. So like with Keno, everybody got bored of it because of the fact that there just wasn't anything new with it. That you always went for the same strategy to get to those high rounds. But now you could change that up. You can have, say for example, the KRM with, like, let's just throw in the Death and Taxes. You can have those. And next thing you know, you can have the LCAR-9 and, like, the freaking XM53 for all we care. It makes it so much better, and I feel like with these new additions to these new, like, guns and everything, it makes it fresh and a lot more replayable, because you don't have to go after the same guns every game that you play it. Like, obviously you're going to go for monkeys every time because there's lifesavers, but having these all introduced, it makes it such a better map. And not to mention the introduction of Stamina Up, because I've heard a lot of people say that Stamina Up was supposed to be originally in it, and I kind of agree there. Adding Stamina Up makes training a lot more fun and easier. Not to mention the changing is that you can now camp in there, because the Relaxing End did a video a couple of weeks ago, I think it was about a week or two ago, where he was actually trying out a camping strategy, whereas originally in Keno you were not able to camp, which, you know what? Maybe the idea of zombies has changed. Maybe, like, training is less viable now. I don't know. But now because of these, it makes these maps so much better. And honestly, I'm glad they brought it back. But I really do wish that these other two maps weren't as good, because obviously Keno's my favorite, and it would have been in number 1. But obviously, the next two are pretty damn well done. So anyways, Keno comes into the number 3 spot. In the number 2 spot, I have Chiang Rai Law. Now, this map is one that I've hated ever since I started playing it. Like, I don't hate it, but like, it's just something that I get very frustrated with because of how difficult the map is. It's so close cornered, kind of like Verruki, but you have a lot more to worry about. You have the Shrieker zombie, you have the Napalm zombie, and I just find that really stupidly annoying to take care of every round. You have the monkeys that steal your drops. It's just something I kind of got frustrated with because it just was a pain in my ass to play this all the time. But now with the additions to Gobblegums, it makes this map so much better. Like, you can have Perkaholic, you can have all your perks, so you can just run down to the thing, shopping free, you can open up the whole damn map in a matter of seconds. You could just get pretty much set up, and you could take care of those Napalm zombies faster than anything the world has ever seen. Because, as you know, the Napalm / Shrieker are a pain in the ass to defeat. The really obtainable method we had at killing Napalm was just running up to it and just backing away and let it explode. But that was a very risky strategy. And the Shrieker, well, him shrieking on your face was the most annoying thing ever. But now with these Gobblegums, you can now get, like, Pack Punch on round 1. You can get, like, all your guns by round, all your guns pretty much by round 1. You can get all your perks by round 1. So making these guys, these bosses, a lot less of an annoyance. And honestly, I love it for that reason because, as you know, Shrieker / Napalm are one of my least favorite bosses other than the 4 that I did a top 5 on a while back. So I actually do recommend you guys go and take a look at that. But just simply, I love these additions to these maps. The camos are a lot more vibrant, but one thing that has improved so much since Black Ops 1 is the graphics. That map was beautiful in Black Ops 1. One of the most beautiful ones we've ever seen. But then moving it onto the Black Ops 3 engine, holy fuck, it's crazy to see how much change there was. It looks so vibrant, fresh, real. It just was amazing. Like, seeing gameplay from it, my mind was literally blown out of the water. Like, the waterfalls look so real. Like, just everything looks so damn well done. And I just cannot believe how much they were able to change. This comes to show what the Black Ops 3 engine is like. It's what it can possibly do. So just imagine all the other maps that we've gotten. Like, we don't have any Call of the Dead. Imagine being remade. Maps like that, or 5. It just shows you the possibilities. Everything. It's just crazy to see the change and just how much it has improved. So anyways, Shangri-La comes in to the number 2 spot. I thought I just kind of got lost. Anyways, we're on to the next one. Now, for some honorable mentions. I said this at the beginning, but it is Origins. Now, obviously, you're wondering, they're all good maps. All could be honorable mentions, but Origins specifically. Because, as you know, Origins was a Black Ops 2 map. But in a way, since Black Ops 2 was so relevant and just honestly isn't really that old as all the other maps, it really hasn't had as much time to improve on. The only things that have really changed are the visuals, the graphics, the amount of panzers you can get, and Gobblegums, really, to be honest. Other than that, not much has really changed since Black Ops 2, so you can legit hop on the Black Ops 2. It will be a really similar feeling, except, who knows, it might be easier, it might be challenging, who knows, because you have the 3-hit system on Black Ops 3, but the 2 hits, but you don't have Gobblegums, but you only have 1 panzer for the whole game. Unless you're doing the Easter egg, which, who knows. But to be in a way, there's so many ways that this map really just didn't have many ways to change, I guess. And that's why it really just hasn't been improved as much as these other maps. So anyways, Origins is an honorable mention. Please don't hate me. Now racing into the number 1 spot, the best map that's been remastered in Call of Duty Zombies history, or Black Ops 3 for this matter, is Numa. This map, when you hop into this, You have so many of the old classic guns. You have the PPSH make a return. You have the, like, Wonderwolf. You have all these cool different guns making a return. But once you hop into this, you wouldn't even notice that it's a World at War map. That's how much this has changed. This map used to be, I guess, it's just crazy how much it's changed. That's all I can really explain about it, because this map was one map that I always enjoyed playing on both World at War and Black Ops 1. But seeing it change in the time between these 2 games, or 3 games, it's mind-blowing. Like, it's got to be honestly one of the most beautiful maps out there. Like, sure, it's a little bit darker than Chiang Rai, but like, it's had the greatest improvement in graphics than anything ever. Like, Chiang Rai only had a small amount compared to Chiang Rai, which used to be very pixely, very glitchy. Now it isn't. It's so much better. And to be honest, it's awesome to see it being remastered. Like, honestly, I couldn't have asked for much more other than Keno, and I'm glad that they brought it back. Now with, like, Pack Punch and everything, like, Gobblegums make it such a more, I wouldn't say an easier map, because the map was easy on its own, but they made it more of a challenge, because of the fact that, from what I hear, the mud is a little bit more worse than it was in World at War and Black Ops 1. You obviously have more spawn rates, meaning that you can't get to round 50 in, like, an hour, and just simply having the additions to all these is so much better. Not to mention you have quick revive in the spawn now, which is really dope to see, meaning I feel like the 4th perk in the huts are probably going to be meal kick, but you know, Call of Duty is what it is. It's always introduced meal kick ever since Moon, so you can't really change it much. But I'm glad to see a lot of these maps like making a return, but Shin and Numa was one of the most exciting ones to see make a return, especially with the improvement of everything. And honestly, when it comes to this DLC 5, I honestly couldn't have asked for much more other than maybe 5 or Shang, but you know. We'll probably see those in a later date, but who knows. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to leave a like. It really does help me out. As well as make sure to subscribe, as well as to the other 2 guys that I mentioned at the beginning of the video. As well as check out the description for the rest of my friends, as well as comment what you guys think. I will reply to every single one of you. Make sure to check out my previous video. But other than that, I will talk to you later. Asserted.